All right, y'all know what time it is. At the time of recording this, there is less than a week
Oh
until
boy.
real NFL football,
Let's
and you
go.
guys are making some dynasty football trades to get your roster where you want it to be before the season. That's what we're doing. We're looking at the trades you have made in your dynasty football leagues. Let's get straight to it without further ado. The first trades we're looking at today is from Styles. Styles
Shout out to
Class, both
Styles.
completed on the 25th. Same league. He says acquired JMO to help the tank and add another second. The core of the team is now Herbert, Quentin, JMO, Pitts, and Love for now. And in total, I have 8 firsts and
Oh
3
my
seconds in the next 2
goodness.
years. The future's bright. So the first deal, he sends away Baker Mayfield and Elijah Moore,
Makes
receives
sense.
Chris Rodriguez and Jamison Williams. I know you're a huge Elijah Moore guy. I am definitely betting on the talent of Jamison Williams in this deal myself.
Yeah, as much as I love Elijah Moore, I still have Jamison Williams ahead of Elijah Moore in my dynasty rankings. So I'm always going to go JMO there. But hey, I won't be surprised next year if Elijah Moore is just as equivalent in price to Jamison Williams. That's a big, bold statement, but it's true. But Jamison Williams, the talent, first round draft capital, 22 years old, just has a suspension, obviously, and this is exactly why, his value has plummeted in the dynasty community. So I'm taking JMO every time.
Yeah, it's a great time to buy Jamison Williams. Very good time. The other trade that he made, he got, he sent away Tank Dell in a third, got a second and a fourth.
I'm okay with this.
How do you feel about this one? I think Tank Dell, it depends on how his rookie years go, but rookie's year goes. But he is the one that excites me the most out of any wide receiver in Houston.
Yeah.
I'm just curious how you feel about this, because essentially you are getting second round value, but you're also getting rid of a third and getting a fourth. So it depends on where those two picks land. Like that third could be early and the second could be late, and then you just got rid of Tank Dell for a fourth, basically, right?
Yeah.
We don't know the context, but Tank Dell excites me. I think in a rebuilding team, I might hold on to him unless I can just do like a second straight up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you. I mean, I'm okay with this trade with the 25 second. You hope that the second's early. I think my perspective here with Tank Dell is, we know that this starting roster at the wide receiver position is not going to be it for the Houston Texans. Obviously, you have Roberto Woods there. You have, Nico Collins, who I believe
Noah
in.
Brown.
But, Noah Brown, you have Xavier Hutchinson. I mean, it's easy to see this team going straight in for multiple wide receivers, maybe on free agency and paying big money for someone hypothetically like a T. Higgins. Not saying Tank Dell is going to be irrelevant, just
Sure.
saying that I think I'd rather bet on this 24 second than
25, right?
25 second than Tank Dell and the way this team is constructed at this very moment, especially if I am rebuilding. If I'm rebuilding, I'm okay to give up Tank, who, we both didn't believe was going to be a massive superstar, but he's proven us wrong so far right now, without a doubt.
Yeah, he excites me the most in that room. And yeah, like you said, I mean, we just don't believe that it's going to be Robert Woods, Noah Brown, and Nico Collins leading the way here. I think we could see a second half season from Tank that's really special. But I guess this is selling probably ahead of what most people would pay. Most people probably wouldn't give a second at this point. So
Yeah.
you did good. I just think in a rebuild, he's an exciting player. So it's tough. Basie Crown, 10 team, 1 quarterback, half PPR. The 24 second will be the 201. And he has 524 firsts. Let's have a look. So he gets CeeDee Lamb, sends away Jamison Williams, Jordan Addison.
Wow.
A second and a fourth round pick, which that second should be the 201.
The 201.
Keep in mind this is a 10-team league. And it's half PPR. How do you feel about this? I want to know how many starters there are.
Exactly. That was going to be one of my questions. This one's tough because I would like to know how many starters there are, and who else is on your team. If you have let's say you have CeeDee Lamb and your next wide receiver is pretty weak. Maybe your next wide receiver is, I don't know, a Keenan Allen, a Tank Dell, somebody that's really low
Right.
that you're not going to be growing with in the future. I'm interested to know who that is, because I think if that second wide receiver is weak and I can get JMO and Jordan Addison, who can easily fill up your wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2 spots, I think I'm willing to take this chance personally. But I think there's so much context I feel like we are missing out of this. If I had to choose blind eye,
I'm going Lamb.
This one's tough. But yeah, I would go Lamb as well.
Get the known asset. You know,
yeah, top
I
three
love
wide
Addison.
receiver.
I have him highly ranked. I love Jameson Williams. I do think that he is, you know, the verdict is still out. He's a very talented player. I think he gets so much hate for no reason. That's why it's tough for me. But I think in this scenario, you don't overthink it. You take CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver 5 last year, super young, connected to a quarterback who's only 30 years old. You know, this was tough at first, like just trying to process through it. But this is CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah. Yeah, once again, I'm happy with CeeDee Lamb. Just interested to know all the other context that we spoke about earlier. But yeah, I mean, top 3 wide receiver in Dynasty right now, top 3, top 4, however way you want to put it. A guy
Let's
that's
say
still
this
young.
is a start 9. It's easily CeeDee Lamb. If this is like a start 11, it depends on like roster, but
Agreed.
still, I mean, like Jameson Williams, Jordan Addison, probably worth 2 first-round picks on their own. That's
CeeDee Lamb
maybe
is
the
worth 2
minimum you
first-round
could
picks.
send to get Lamb. You might need to send more, you know. So
Yeah.
next trade is from Perry 16, 12 team start 9 PPR half tight and premium. So he receives Brandon Ayuk and Drake London, sends away Keenan Allen and Jahan Dotson, and this is what we call highway robbery. Yeah, I mean, hopefully you bought the guy dinner before you robbed him here.
Yeah.
No, you did well. You did really, really well. I mean, this is the kind of trade I want to make. I want to make this trade.
Yeah.
I want that trade to be in my inbox.
As much as we love Jahan Dotson, getting Brandon Ayuk and Drake London is, I think, a great, step up in my opinion.
Yeah, huge step up. Big fan of it, especially in Dynasty. All right, Guru Mitch, I believe this is.
Yeah.
22 team. Wait.
22 team, one quarterback.
Did he mean to say that? Did he mean to type 12 team?
I mean,
it says this message was edited, so he must have meant 22 team.
I've heard of 32 teams. I've
Yeah.
never heard of 22 teams.
Well, okay, so 22 team, 1 quarterback, full PPR, no tight end premium. I wanted to keep a younger build, and my wide receivers are now Garrett Wilson, Waddle, Ridley, Moore, Bateman, Mims, Collins, Tillman, Downs, and DPJ. The second will probably be 6 to 8 next year. So gets Elijah Moore in a second, sends away Christian Kirk. First, let's analyze this as if it is a 12-team, 1 quarterback trade.
Okay.
I am pretty comfortable with that move. I think you're kind of like, if Elijah Moore has the Christian Kirk career arc, that's kind of what you're hoping for, right?
Yeah. I think
So
that's kind
maybe,
of.
so maybe this is, well, you add the second round pick for insurance. So where do you stand? You're an Elijah Moore guy.
Yeah, I'm taking Elijah Moore in the 25 second. These guys aren't too far off in my dynasty rankings here. I do have Elijah Moore higher than Christian Kirk. As we speak right now, Elijah Moore still only 23 years old. Christian Kirk 26. If I'm thinking about building for the future, if I'm thinking about, somebody that I'm banking everything on, it's Elijah Moore. And even if Elijah Moore doesn't pan out, is Christian Kirk worth that 25 second? If it's early, he said 6 to 8, probably not. To be honest, because I think in some,
Well, that 206 to 208 is not early.
that's what I'm saying. Like the 6
Right.
the 6 to 8, it's not early. So I'm saying, so probably not. Like that won't be worth it.
Right.
But I'm banking on Elijah Moore and his opportunity coming in this year, and how much I love Elijah Moore and his situation.
Yeah, this is tough. I have Kirk ranked 1 spot ahead of Elijah Moore. 26 is still pretty young for a wide receiver.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. I have Kirk 1 spot ahead of Elijah, but the second is definitely enough for me to make that move and bet on the talent long term. Now, if it's a 22-man league, nothing changes.
No, nothing changes. I'm still going Elijah Moore.
All right, we got a trade here from 7 Goat Rings. 12-team Superflex, full PPR, start 11, no tight end premium. Goff was my QB3, and buying the Dallas backups for my own second, which is projected late. Okay, so sends a second-round pick for Rico Dowdle and Deuce Vaughn. Let's start with this one.
Okay.
Love 7 Goats. He's a star of the show. People either love his trades or they hate him. I would definitely not be making this trade, though.
I agree.
Deuce Vaughn
Deuce.
might have gone in the 4th round of people's rookie drafts. He looks to be an exciting player. I think I would send a 3rd for the pair of these, but I would not send a 2nd round pick. And I know he's saying that it's projected to be late, so I understand where he's coming from. If that's the 212, it hurts way less. But Rico Dowdle, okay, so if everything goes to plan, let's think about it this way, right?
Mm-hmm.
If everything goes to plan, these guys are completely irrelevant for fantasy, and that's the issue. Do you know what I mean? That's the issue I have with it.
It makes sense, it makes sense what you're saying. What I will say is, I agree. I would not make this trade, but maybe he is projecting 7 goats that one of these guys could be the Tony Pollard. I don't see that happening, personally. But if that is somewhere in his thought process there, maybe he'd rather secure that backfield than not. But even if Tony Pollard was to go down, I don't believe they run with Dowdle or Deuce. I think they easily bring in somebody else off the street and say, we need help.
The thing is, you were able to trade a 2nd for Tony Pollard this time last offseason, right? And he had already shown flashes. So it's tough, man. Yeah, I really don't like this move myself.
I agree.
The 2nd trade, he gets CJ Stroud and 3 thirds. He sends away Jared Goff, Michael Wilson, Hendon Hooker, and 2 2nd round picks. I do like the idea of getting younger at the quarterback spot. This is his QB3.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud and Jared Goff, they were his QB3. Now Stroud will be the 3. He sends away Goff. The issue I have with it is
this is seconds.
I guess opinion. Just like, the 2nds and the 3rds.
Yeah, I mean, I understand you.
And I love Michael Wilson, too. That's not someone I want to send away.
Yeah, I understand you tear up at quarterback getting younger. But you're completely swapping your 3rds and your 3rds for your 2nds there. I mean, maybe it was 1 second swapped for a 3rd to get it done. And then, I don't know. I don't love this trade as a whole. I love getting Stroud, but I hate that you swapped your 2nds. And Michael Wilson.
I guess think about it in this perspective though, because I'm trying to think about it as fairly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm in a dynasty startup, I would rank CJ Stroud as a 2nd round pick in a superflex startup draft. Right? Correct. 2nd, early 3rd at worst. Jared Goff, I would probably say late 5th, 6th round.
I guess it depends.
Depends on how your league is drafting quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So would I be willing essentially to move up 3 rounds, give up 2 seconds, get 3 thirds? I think I'd be willing to do this. The more I think about it, I'm fine to take the chance on Stroud here.
Yeah, and maybe that is the case if you think about it in that way. I think you could have just gotten the steal done potentially without just swapping your 2nds. Maybe you do have another 2nd. Unless this is the same league as earlier, I'm assuming you don't have that 2nd because you sent away that for Dowdle and Deuce. So I'm assuming you have no 2nds now and then 3 thirds. So I like the Stroud move, just don't like the picks, to be completely honest.
All right, the next one here, I don't know why Sleeper isn't showing us the names. Is this
Dogs?
Is it Dustin?
Is Dogs.
What? Okay.
Dogzo.
Oh, Dogzo. Okay, right. Yeah, I don't know why Sleeper's not showing us the names. He gets Rashad Penny and Trey Lance, sends away a 2nd. He says it's probably a late 2nd. So Penny and Lance for a 2nd. I mean, I don't mind the shot here. I don't mind calling your shot. I think it's a pretty even deal. If it is truly late, if that's an early 2nd, I think you've lost the deal.
Yeah, I mean, it just really depends on when Trey's going to get on the field if he does. I think I'd rather bank on that 24 2nd, and see what I can get. Especially hypothetically, if Mighty Booch already has, decent quarterbacks. Maybe Trey Lance was her 3rd quarterback. That feels more comfortable. And Dogs, is he buying low? Now you're gonna have Trey Lance on your squad.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess if I had Trey Lance right now, I would accept a second round pick for him.
Yeah, I would as
and
well.
Rashad Penny is not someone that I see having a very bright future. He's someone that excites me for a 1 year in Philly, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure about his future. So in that sense, I probably would send a second round pick for Trey Lance, or as in the other way around. I would accept a second for Lance.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Completely. Agreed.
Okay, and we have a couple other ones from Goat Rings. 12-team Superflex start 11 full PPR. Second is projected mid, so he gets a second, sends away Trey Lance, and a mid third. Yeah, I would do this.
I would do this.
I would do this. Time to admit defeat and move on from Trey.
Agreed.
Foxtrot League, so it looks like Mighty Booch and
submitted the same trade.
And Dogs have submitted the same one. Yeah, the more I think about it, I am super comfortable to send a second for, Trey Lance for a second.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had to send some asset, like a third round value, I'd be willing to do that.
Agreed.
Herbert, 12-team Superflex tight end premium quarterbacks are Josh Allen, Love, Stroud, and Baker. He gets a first round pick for Mac Jones in a third.
Oh, man. That is phenomenal.
In a 12-team Superflex, I mean, that's a no-brainer. Like, no disrespect to Mac Jones. But yeah, I don't envision Juju Smith-Schuster changing his fantasy value all that much this year.
No, I completely agree. Love that you got a first from Mac Jones. I mean, what is his true value right now? I mean, is this a second, late second?
I would say a mid-second, maybe a late second.
My goodness. And I mean, that's kind of wild right now in the community. QB 26.
Now, There's a scenario here where Mac Jones, who did not have an offensive coordinator last year, ends up being much better like he was in his rookie season with a real offensive coordinator.
Right.
But even if you want to be in on Mac, it shouldn't cost this price. So I think you did really well to get a first-round pick.
Yeah, agreed.
Especially with the quarterbacks you've got. Joe Bob. What's up, Joe Bob? Projected early first. Dynasty Superflex half PPR start 8. So he gets Lamar Jackson, sends away Anthony Richardson, and a projected early first. In a 12-team start 8.
Wow.
How early is that first going to be? Is that Caleb Williams early?
Oh, man. This one's difficult because if everything pans out right for Anthony Richardson, I want Anthony Richardson.
You
don't know
if that will happen.
I would say this right off the bat right now, Joe. Personally, I don't know who wins this trade in a couple. Until we know what Anthony Richardson is.
Yeah.
Because right now,
no one can tell you for sure.
Right now, I would say I want Anthony Richardson that first, especially if it's projected early. If Anthony Richardson pans out and I still get a top 5 pick, top 6 pick, I'm winning. If Anthony Richardson is not that guy and you get that top 6 pick, you just got Lamar for just one first round where he's clearly worth more than that. So I think that is the biggest caveat here.
So if that's an early first, that is okay. So let's say this: if Anthony Richardson has a Justin Fields type year, you lose this deal, especially if that's a top 4 pick. If that's Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison. Sorry,
A Justin Fields type of year, like his rookie season. Justin Fields type
exactly.
year?
Like if what Justin Fields did last year, Anthony Richardson does this year, really bad through the air, but incredible on the ground, and exciting for fantasy, then you probably lose this deal if it's in the top 4. If you're giving away, think about it. Like I'm saying, essentially, if we view Richardson next year like we view Justin Fields now, I wouldn't have sent Lamar Jackson. I wouldn't have bought Lamar Jackson for Justin Fields in a first that I project top 4. Now, we don't know if that's the case. We have no idea what Richardson will be. But like you mentioned, it's very difficult to project this because everything lies on Richardson.
Yeah.
If you end up sending away Justin Fields, essentially, and Marvin Harrison Jr., you'll definitely regret this one. What I will say is it's a start 8, so it helps that it's a smaller starting lineup. There's a lot of factors at play here. If someone told you absolutely win this trade or you absolutely lose this trade, I think they're lying to you. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, we could have said this. Sounds crazy. We could have said this 2 years ago about Trey Lance. We were having that exact same. We were having this exact same conversation. And at that time, you probably wanted Trey Lance because of how high his upside was, potentially.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, I mean, Joe, here's what I will say. In a start 8, it's comfortable to get the player that you know has everything built around him. I mean, might have his best year ever MVP type play. So be comforted in knowing that at least like you don't have an asset that has question marks.
Yeah.
The question marks and the upside is what could end up being something that you regret. So anyway, hopefully that makes sense. But do us a favor, guys. Drop a like. If you want your trades to be on this weekly show, it's actually very, very simple. All you need to do is sign up to the Mother Flocker tier on the Flock Fantasy website with our promo code LAND. That will get you 30% off your membership. And if you choose the Mother Flocker tier, you will unlock the Dynasty Trades text channel. Anytime you make a trade, pop it in there, and then we'll talk about it every week on the live video. But thanks for watching. Hopefully you're having a good week and you're ready for some football. Enjoy the rest of your day. Now that those idiots are done talking, who needs some rankings?
Hell yeah, I need some rankings.
Then use promo code LAND, LAND, for 30% off any membership at flockfantasy.com.
Oh.
It's so easy. Even your grandma could scan that QR code right there.